To be completely honest, I love my team. I think they're great. I don't have any intentions of really trading any of them. I don't know if this is in the rules. I don't really care. But I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. Bee's going to take her coach, Sandy Brondello. Let's get it. It's going to be amazing. Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules. But we just made it a rule. So, Sandy Brondello, come on over. Let's get to it. You can coach Sabrina.
During the WNBA All-Star Game selection process, Caitlin Clark made history by becoming the first player to request a coaching substitution. This remarkable move highlighted underlying conflicts regarding basketball strategies and leadership approaches that have influenced team relationships in recent months. Clark's choice to swap CHERYL REEVE for Sandy Brondello created widespread discussion across basketball circles. The dynamic between Clark and Reeve has encountered multiple obstacles, making this coaching adjustment especially significant for those who have observed their past encounters.
Lads, the Indiana Fever were better this time last year. They had Katie Lou Samuelson. Katie Lou Samuelson was either starting or their first sub off the bench. Dantas was injured. Nalissa Smith was a starter. Christy Wallace was a starter. Lexi Hull was getting DNPs, and they were still running teams out of the gym. At this stage last year, they were still out there running teams out of the gym. And look, it's...
Throughout the selection event, Clark explained her tactical thinking when questioned about possible player exchanges. After initially showing contentment with her chosen team, she shocked everyone by declaring her plan to make a coaching alteration rather than switching players. The unexpected nature of this choice left commentators and league officials surprised. Clark directly asked for Brondello to take Reeve's place, explaining her desire for alternative coaching techniques and team leadership styles. This decision went beyond simple personal taste. It emphasized basic disagreements about offensive approaches and player development methods.
Come on over. Let's get to it. You can coach Sabrina. So therefore, maybe Stewie wants to come on over to my team. Let me know. Bea, you want to give me Stewie?
We have breaking news here. I don't know that I've heard.
Now, Caitlin Clark doing that, guys, is kind of a big slap in the face to Stephanie White. See, no one picked up on this yesterday. See, no one picked up on why she traded the coach. Like I told y'all, they're running this damn motion offense, and Caitlin Clark don't like the motion offense, bro. Hence why she traded her. Why?
The coaching substitution conveyed strong opinions about Clark's perspective on present team leadership. Her behavior seemed to question motion offense frameworks that restrict individual expression and ball control duties. These frameworks typically demand players function within organized patterns instead of permitting natural playmaking chances. Clark's following media session remarks strengthened these worries. She characterized herself mainly as a read-and-react type player who enjoys starting offensive plays rather than consistently working without the ball. These comments directly confronted coaching methods that stress planned movements over responsive decision-making.
Last year, they were still out there running teams out of the gym. And look, it is, and like even looking at Caitlin Clark's reaction here, like she's pissed as well. She's pissed as well as to just the way they're playing. Like, just take a listen here. You can see by her body language here.
Steph has talked about kind of taking some pressure off you with Aerie kind of running point in some actions and you playing off the ball. Just how do you think that will help when you reintegrate onto the court?
The scheduling of these statements implies coordinated communication directed at existing coaching personnel and management teams. Clark's public position on playing approaches shows unusual courage for professional athletes, especially those beginning their careers while dealing with established coaching frameworks. Brondello reacted favorably to the exchange announcement during her media session. She showed excitement about the historic aspect of the swap, while recognizing the special situations that made this chance possible. Her remarks indicated genuine gratitude for being chosen over other available alternatives.
Why she traded her, why she got rid of CHERYL REEVE, and hence why she sent the signal. She sent the signal to Stephanie White about this motion offense, guys. Hence why this same damn day, Caitlin Clark says, you know what, I'm a more of a read and react type player in the press conference. I'll play off ball, but I really don't like to play that style of basketball. She's telling Stephanie White, and she's sending subliminals to the
The New York Liberty coach highlighted the possible chemistry benefits her squad might receive through this change. Having built connections with current players could offer strategic advantages during All-Star games, where practice time stays restricted. Brondello's response showed professional elegance while acknowledging the entertainment aspect of Clark's groundbreaking choice. Her readiness to welcome the circumstances demonstrated awareness of the All-Star Game's festive environment and marketing significance. This coaching exchange emphasized wider worries about team leadership methods throughout the league. Traditional motion offense frameworks sometimes clash with contemporary playing approaches that highlight individual expression and flexible decision-making skills.
What do you think that'll help when you reintegrate onto the court?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be nice probably not to have to bring the ball up against pressure 94 feet. But like I said, like...
She won't even look. Like, this is Caitlin Clark, who constantly looks towards the camera. If you look, she will always look towards the camera. She's not even looking at anybody. She's looking down and she's looking up and away. Like, she's pissed. She's pissed. Like, she's not happy. And look, you got to make a choice. And I understand there's more basketball choices than this. There is,
The situation also showed organizational difficulties facing squads trying to optimize talent while keeping established coaching methods. Balancing experienced coaching knowledge with changing player demands needs thoughtful evaluation of various elements. Clark's daring move questioned player authority within professional sports organizations. Her readiness to openly discuss coaching preferences showed confidence in her status and impact within the basketball world. The swap created varied responses from supporters and empers who understood both the entertainment aspect and hidden conflicts it showed. Some saw it as honest transparency, while others doubted the suitability of such public comments.
White, and she's sending subliminals to the Indiana Fever front office right now about her playing off ball and this motion offense. This ain't her style of play, dog.
Heard of a coach being traded in the All-Star game. This is something that you're agreeing to, Fee. There's no terms to this deal.
I agree with Cheryl. I agree with the trade. I love Cheryl. She's my coach here. And you know what? That's just going to be worse for Team Clark, because now we got more chemistry on our side. We got more synergy. We know what
Media attention concentrated heavily on the historic importance while trying to examine possible long-term effects for Clark's connections with coaching personnel and organizational management. The unique nature of the event created confusion about proper understanding. Reeve's substitute seemed to accept the choice without public resistance, keeping professional dignity despite the strange situations. Her reaction showed experience managing unexpected events that happen in competitive sports settings. The coaching exchange happened alongside wider talks about team success and strategic changes needed to optimize roster abilities. These discussions often include tough choices about system adjustments and personnel usage.
There's more basketball choices than this. There is, you've got to make basketball choices. When it comes to, this, there's more basketball, and I'm still going to talk about it like it's a basketball decision, because at the end of the day, this does come down to basketball more than it comes down to anything else. Like, you're not going to keep a player. You're not going to go and keep a player on your team.
Clark's behavior indicated disappointment with present methods that might restrict her natural playing approach and overall performance. Professional athletes sometimes need to support conditions that permit peak performance, even when such support creates temporary difficulties. The All-Star setting offered a suitable location for this kind of symbolic action, where entertainment worth and player expression get more acceptance than during regular season games. The relaxed environment permitted creative decision-making without serious competitive results.
Because now we got more chemistry on our side. We got more synergy. We know what we expect from each other. So that was a bad move on your part, Caitlin. We're taking you down.
Oh.
So that was Caitlin Clark yesterday on ESPN, like I stated, speaking about this trade. Her team is dope. Somebody said Caitlin Clark, notably Team USA snub, is about to play the ball, play the All-Star game with Gabby Williams, who very nearly ruined Team USA. Now, that was Caitlin Clark giving the boot to none other than CHERYL Reeve. Now,
Brondello's coaching method apparently matches better with Clark's preferred playing approach, creating possibilities for better chemistry and strategic compatibility. Different coaches stress varying methods to player growth and game leadership. The event showed Clark's increasing power within the league and her readiness to use that power to address worries about team leadership. Such behavior needs careful thought about possible results while seeking desired organizational modification. Sandy Brondello's excitement about coaching Clark showed recognition of her outstanding abilities and the chance to work with one of the league's most exciting players. The possibility of creating strategic methods suited to Clark's skills clearly interested the experienced coach.
Don't keep a player on your team as a mascot. And I think the only reason why you would stick to Stephanie White's system and keep Caitlin Clark on your team is if you think she's a mascot. Like, treating her like she's a mascot. Because let's be real. It's not beneficial on the court for you guys to keep this up. It's not. And this is not me going out there and saying, oh, the Fever are better without Caitlin Clark, because they're not. The Fever without Caitlin Clark in Stephanie White's system are a 500 team.
This coaching swap ultimately represented bigger discussions about adjusting traditional basketball frameworks to handle developing player skills and preferences. Professional sports continuously change as new talents appear with different abilities and expectations. The Indiana Fever organization encounters a serious turning point that requires quick focus and firm action. The present circumstances show a basic mismatch between coaching methods and star player usage that endangers the franchise's competitive future.
Now, Sandy Brondello opens up about this whole thing during a press conference today with Sabrina Ionescu. Let's check out what they had to say. Roll the footage.
They've been involved in the first ever coach trade of any All-Star game ever. Just want to get your thoughts on that. In your mind. First for you, Leo.
They announced it? Yeah. That you got traded? Yeah. Oh, I got to go look at all that. Traded? I have no idea what the teams are. Second time in history now. Jeez, as a player. And I got traded, yes. My son hit me up after he goes, I'm not,
Review of the team's results shows a clear difference between this season's problems and earlier achievements. During the similar time last year, the roster included Katie Lou Samuelson either as a starter or main backup, with Damiris Dantes unable to play due to injury. Melissa Smith held a starting position next to Christy Wallace, while Lexi Hull got limited game time. Despite these personnel restrictions, the team regularly beat opponents and kept superior court dominance. The present coaching method under Stephanie White creates strategic disagreements that weaken team success. Visual proof from recent interviews displays Clark's obvious disappointment with the current framework. During media meetings, her usual interaction with cameras and reporters has been replaced by downward looks and clear unhappiness, showing major dissatisfaction with present situation.
500 team that are going to suck. The Fever with Caitlin Clark in Stephanie White's system are a 500 team who aren't going to do anything in the playoffs. She's a net neutral in their current system. Caitlin is absolutely a net neutral. Because there's one thing with playing Caitlin Clark off the ball, and I'm just going to show you guys this. You guys are going to see the great paint. The great paint online. You guys have seen it plenty of times here. What we're going to do.
The basic problem focuses on offensive framework design and player positioning. White's coaching method emphasizes ball distribution and shared scoring duties, but this strategy fails to optimize the team's most important resource. The present offensive structure treats Clark as a backup choice rather than the main facilitator she demonstrated during earlier successful seasons. Study of the team's away-from-ball offensive movements shows major structural problems. The typical possession includes Clark working away from the basketball, while teammates try to create chances through restrictor screening movements. This method consistently produces poor spacing and defended shots, particularly when players like Aaliyah Boston lack respected three-point shooting ability.
And I got traded, yes. My son hit me up after he goes, I'm not, I've created history. This is awesome. I got traded as a coach. But look, I get to coach with Sabrina. I'm on Caitlin Clark's in Indianapolis. I mean, what a great show. So we'll go out there and have some fun.
Hello, all. Congrats on the win.
So they definitely got a kick out of Caitlin Clark trading away CHERYL Reeve, man. And just like I stated, this is the first time this has ever happened on any scale in this league. He said, Christy Side.
The spacing issues become clear through tactical examination. When Clark works away from the ball, defenders can offer help, defense more simply because certain teammates cannot extend the floor effectively. Natasha Howard's positioning often blocks driving paths, while Boston's defender can give extra support without penalty. This creates situations where Clark gets the ball in poor positions, facing several defenders with restricted offensive choices. Present offensive performance lacks the quick striking plays that marked earlier successful seasons. The motion offense idea needs smart decision makers throughout the lineup, but the roster has only 2 dependable playmakers. This restriction becomes troublesome when the ball moves away from Clark, as teammates cannot regularly create benefits or locate open teammates.
Plenty of times here. What we're going to do is we are going to draw. We're going to draw up the Indiana Fever's off the ball offense. So we've got that is really badly drawn there. Screw it. Let's get the key in there. Way too much space here. But this is the Indiana Fever's off. This is what Caitlin Clark playing off the ball is. Is there any back cuts? No, because you have got one of Aaliyah Boston here, but they don't respect her three-point shot.
The paint crowding problem greatly affects scoring effectiveness. Howard's presence in the post region removes many of the cutting chances that helped players like Kelsey Mitchell in earlier seasons. Mitchell's success as a backdoor cutter decreases when interior spacing disappears, forcing her to become a contested shot maker rather than taking advantage of simple scoring opportunities. Past context shows Clark's outstanding rim finishing skills from the earlier season, yet present offensive plans rarely create clean looks near the basket. The absence of transition running partners worsens this issue, as teammates no longer consistently fill paths or create fast break chances. This shows a major change from earlier successful transition attacks.
He said, Christy Side said, leave it better than you found it. If you're going to criticize players, make sure you do it to everyone. Otherwise, you got stand takes. I don't really know what that means, man. I don't really get that one. That one kind of got me, man. Yeah, man. So a lot of people was really quiet about this game, man. DeWanna Bonner received a standing ovation today. She checked in moments ago.
The coaching frameworks focus on equal opportunity sharing conflicts with best basketball strategy. When offensive possessions slow with secondary players, the team loses its most effective scoring and creation choices. This method treats Clark as a role player rather than recognizing her special ability to improve teammate performance through superior court awareness and passing abilities. Strategic options exist that could better use available talent. Trading Clark for established players who match White's framework could theoretically improve team unity. Possible targets like Alyssa Thomas from Phoenix, Jackie Young from Las Vegas, or Sabrina Ionescu from New York could offer better systematic matches within the present coaching structure. However, this method ignores Clark's transformative effect when properly used. Her ability to improve lesser talents was shown during earlier seasons when she maximized the effectiveness of role players like Katie Lou Samuelson and Christy Wallace. The present framework prevents this talent improvement from happening.
Here, but they don't respect her three-point shot, so her defensive players here. Natasha Howard in this scenario is probably, she should be down here, but she's probably somewhere like here, getting in the way, brings another defender here, which means that Caitlin is here, ball is in, let's just say, Hall is Kelsey screen down, Lexi's come up here and had the ball. This is literally their offense. Caitlin has screened for somebody off the ball. Has kind of screened down and they've kind of cut through and gone to the other side. So Caitlin will come and screen, they're down the other.
The organizational choice becomes obvious when studying competitive options. Clark's abilities would create championship possibility with coaching groups that prioritize speed and transition basketball. Frameworks that emphasize ball distribution through a main initiator rather than forced sharing would unlock her special skills. The Mercury's offensive method, for instance, would support Clark's strengths while offering the athletic supporting group needed for best performance. Similarly, coaching methods that encourage aggressive transition play would restore the dynamic attacking approach that made Indiana successful. Present roster building shows extra challenges within White's framework. The lack of several smart decision makers means offensive possessions often fail when Clark cannot directly affect the play. This restriction becomes larger during important game moments when performance precision becomes essential.